After 5 long years, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is back with a makeover, for the first time available on current-gen console platforms with a fresh coat of paint and a mod support, getting to take full advantage of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4's superior hardware to remaster a game that was truly brilliant. However, the overarching question here is, do superior graphics and mod support justify paying a full $60 for this title? Now, Skyrim Special Edition is also available on PC. However, it doesn't really do anything new for PC players who've already had access to ENBs and visual mods that make vanilla Skyrim, in my opinion, look even better than the remaster anyway. However, that said, Bethesda understands and recognizes this disparity, and Skyrim Special Edition is actually completely free to PC players who already own vanilla Skyrim, which allows us to completely focus this review on consoles. So what do you get with this remaster, aside from improved visuals, mods, and superior performance? Absolutely nothing. Bethesda has made no changes to the gameplay or quest lines themselves of Skyrim. However, that's not a particularly bad thing. You do get all of the DLC that was available in the original Skyrim, and the improved graphics are immediately noticeable, with resolution increased from 720 to 1080p, or if you're on the PlayStation 4 Pro, even all the way up to 4K. This game looks nothing short of absolutely beautiful. And while I understand that graphics don't make a game by any means, they sure as hell can break one in my opinion. And vanilla Skyrim was getting to become a bit of an eyesore to play. Maybe it's just me, but I do really appreciate just how good this remaster looks. Dynamic depth of field was one of the biggest assets that came with this game's visual package. The feature that puts whatever you are looking at directly into focus and blurs everything else out. Very similar to how a camera takes portrait pictures, and it's hard to overstate its importance in many modern games. However, in a game made in 2011, it also really does bring out some of the game's still existing visual flaws. You'll be looking at a tree or having a conversation with an NPC, and just can't help but notice how truly old it looks in comparison to what we've grown accustomed to. Volumetric god rays have also been something Bethesda's been boasting about this game for quite a while now, and honestly, while they look nice and all, I was a bit underwhelmed by them. But as a whole, visually, this game still does look very good, a far cry from what we were previously forced to work with, but it's no ENB. Furthermore, another thing that you will notice about this game is that it runs better. A lot better. For as long as anyone can remember, 2 to 3 minute-long loading screens were the norm. However, with the remaster, they've been cut down to mere seconds. I'm talking 10 seconds maximum. It is insane how the current generation console hardware has been able to expedite this process. And it's something that anyone who had to suffer through the tragedy of old loading screens can be very grateful for. To add to that, you'll notice that the game has much more consistency with frame rates. In vanilla Skyrim, stutters and seemingly random FPS drops plagued what was an otherwise very enjoyable title, but that is not the case with the remaster. You can expect less nonsense when entering cities or battling large clusters of enemies. But yes, there is always a but. Before I go complimenting this game's FPS consistency too much, it is also worth noting that FPS is capped at 30 frames a second, not the industry standard of 60 FPS, and that is a little bit ridiculous for a game that's being branded as a remaster. You would imagine it would abide by that 60 FPS standard. So, while frames are a bit more consistent, it's not exactly a high mark for Bethesda to hit, seeing as the maximum is only 30. Anyway, with visuals and performance out of the way, the only thing left to inspect is modding, which on the Xbox One is everything we have expected it to be. Already supporting some of the most popular mods on PC, such as Frostfall, the unofficial patch, etc. And that list is only set to grow dramatically as more and more PC modders bring their content over to console, and new stuff is created. But if you are on the PlayStation 4, don't expect so much from the modding scene, as the PlayStation 4 version does not support mods that include external assets. A curious decision by Sony that ultimately really limits the amount of content available for PlayStation 4 users looking to delve into mods. That said, there are still quite a bit of mods available on the PlayStation 4, but the experience is notably handicapped. This lack of external asset compatibility basically means that any mod not created completely on the native creation kit Bethesda offers will not work on the PlayStation 4. So, no external models, no external dialogue or voice or audio, no external scripts, and the result of this is significantly less mods, and some that are significantly dumbed down. Due to a lack of scripts, quest mods can't be nearly as intricate. A lot of the new weapon and armor mods simply aren't going to work because you can't import the models to the PlayStation 4. So it's a significantly hindering experience. Granted, there are still a bunch of mods ready and available on the PlayStation 4, just not as many and not of as high quality. Improved visuals, mod support, with a little bit of an asterisk by it if you're on the PlayStation 4, and enhanced performance are all welcome new inclusions within the Skyrim Special Edition. But does that really justify paying $60 for a game that you can currently pick up at GameStop for $11 on the 360? And in my opinion, I can't really bring myself to say that it does. If you already have Skyrim on the 360 or PS3, certainly on the PC, and don't intend to spend more time than say 25 hours, then it's probably not worth the price. But if you don't have access to the original game, and or are excited to kick up a new character and start another playthrough, that's when this game gets a lot more appealing. And if you've never had the chance to play Skyrim before, this is a perfect opportunity to pick the game up. It's very difficult to overstate just how much content Skyrim has, and it's certainly more than Fallout 4, DLC included, and something that's easy to become immersed in. So, if you have never played The Elder Scrolls V, do it now. You will not regret the purchase at all. There's a lot of bang for your buck. This master is made for big-time fans or people who haven't gotten into Skyrim. But if you're someone who can't see yourself putting more than that 25 hours into this game, or are already content with playing the 360 or PS3 versions, then you can probably stand to miss out on this. And of course, if you're on the PC, then you lucky bastards have it free anyway. Now, in those last couple of paragraphs, I found myself being a little bit more cynical with this game than I initially planned to be. But I do want to make something clear. I had a lot of fun playing through this remaster again. The music when I put my headphones on, just going through that initial entrance to Helgen, it sent shivers down my spine, and I really do enjoy this game. I do not regret making the purchase one bit, even though I have it on the PC and on the 360. But again, I'm someone who's a pretty big fan of this franchise, as you might be able to tell by the subject of the channel. So take with that information what you may. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're really excited about this game, then consider picking it up. But if you're a little bit on the fence, then there's really no harm in waiting till the price drops at all. Thanks for watching everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to drop a like, dislike if you did not, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out everyone.